Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this VS Code pro tip, we're going to be talking about a brand new feature to VS Code, something that has just dropped in version, I think 16.4. Let's see. I got this from a tweet I'm going to share with you in just a second here. 1.64 was way off. 16.4164 is just a decimal point off, but a long ways away. So if you check your VS Code, if you do in Mac, you can just do code about VS Code. Sorry, Windows people, I don't know how to do it. You can check your version. I'm on 1642, also known as 16.4.2. Not really 1642, and that's good enough. Okay, so let's get into it. What is this feature? Well, let's say you have something like, let me find a folder here, orders maybe. Let's see, orders. Yeah. orders.ts. And you can see orders.ts has its own testing file. Orders.ts is a handful of methods that I have for orders processing, and orders.test.ts is its testing file. And what Francois over here has found, and please, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm so sorry. If I'm doing this poorly, please leave a comment below. I will make it up to you. So he, and I will link to his Twitter and this tweet. His Twitter is @47fx. He's been tweeting some VS Code tips, and I found this one on his Twitter. I'm being retweeted, and thought I'd make a nice VS Code pro tip here. You can see that he is somehow able to have keychain.test.ts as a child of a file, as almost as if keychain.ts is acting as a folder, even though it's not a folder. And this is a brand new feature that allows you to set up really any kind of pattern to set up what are like capture groups for files that should capture another file. And let me tell you, I've been implementing this and I think it's really neat. I can very well predict that some people are going to look at this and say, I don't like it. It's not a folder. It's acting like a folder. Why is it doing that? But somebody like me, I don't want to see all my tests littering my code here. This is a really nice thing to have. So what do you do? Well, there's a couple of ways to get to your JSON settings. You can go to Code, Preferences, Settings, and then click this little sheet of paper up top here. Or you can do from the command palette, Settings, Open Settings, JSON. Okay, that gets you here. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to enable these new features. We're going to say explorer.experimental.file nesting.enabled and set that to be true. Okay, so Explorer experimental file nesting enabled true. Okay, make sure you spell it right, obviously. I think if you don't, it will have it like outlined like this because it'll say that, hey, this isn't a real thing. And these are probably just old ones that I have in here. I should probably clean this thing up, right? Okay, so Explorer experimental file nesting enabled. Next, what we want to do is, actually, I'm just going to copy this line because a lot of this is the same. So explorer.experimental.file nesting, and instead of enabled, it's .patterns. And patterns is going to be an object where the property will be the file that becomes a folder, the file that becomes the parent. And in this case, we want to say, hey, look at all .ts files. Okay, any TS file has the ability to scoop up a test file. And so to scoop up a test file, we need to say $ parentheses and say capture. Now, capture is going to just basically, if this file is named orders.ts, then we're going to capture the word order. It's everything that's in the asterisk. So order.test.ts, okay? So we are going to capture anything that has the same name, .test.ts, and nest it under the thing of the same name. If we save this, we should be able to see, if I open up my things, we can now see that orders.ts kind of exists as an indented folder option here, which is kind of weird. Again, I think some people are going to hate the way this looks visually because you're going to say, that's not a folder. Why is it being indented? But to me, it kind of makes it obvious even which files have tests written for them. Not that these files don't have tests written for them, but maybe it means that I should be breaking my tests out of this folder. But what's kind of cool is that if you click on the file, it opens the file just as if it would. So to access the test, you have a couple options. You could say orders.tests and find it in the Finder here. Or you could just click the little open caret and open this thing as well. Okay, so that's two options. Now I want to show you another configuration that he has here that I thought was really pretty cool. In fact, I like this maybe even more than the testing one, which, like, if you're like me, you probably have a bunch of stuff here. In fact, it looks like it's auto capturing npmrc. I don't know if it's doing that because I had that rule in before or what. Maybe that's why this is experimental. But I have all these files, pnpm lock.yaml, pnpm work. Like, I don't need these files visible in npmrc. I would love all of these to be tucked underneath package.json. And so you can tuck any file under any other file simply by saying, hey, I have a file parent named package.json, and the things I would like to tuck inside of it are an array, well, not an array, a comma separated string to say package.lock.json, just in case I get any of those, even though I'm using pnpm. The pnpm equivalent is pnpm lock.yaml. Autocomplete keeps adding this parenthesis, stop, or bracket, stop doing that. And then maybe not yarn.lock, but definitely .npmrc, because who wants those files cluttering up? And then we'll do the last one, the pnpm-work space.yaml. Okay, I save this and check it out. They're all tucked under our package.json. So the reason why this is cool, and let me just leave it on this in case you want to see exactly what mine looks like. Again, we're saying this is the file that scoops up the other files. These are the files that get scooped up, and it can follow a capture pattern like this. Okay, now this is so cool because, everything that I would possibly need, I'm typically looking at my package.json, right? But in the event that I need to dive into package lock, I can look for package lock.json. Or in the event that I need to run into npmrc, I can find those files easily enough from the command palette and jump to them. But if I don't want it visually cluttering up all this garbage up top here, they can now act as if like a folder while still remaining in the root of my repository, and I gotta love that. I think this is fantastic, and I think I fell in love with this thing for the .test file thing, and I think I've become a total convert for it with the package.json thing. Either way, this example has a whole bunch more. You see, you can use it with .js, .tsx, anything you want, any pattern that you want to have, .svelte. Who cares, right? You can bundle all of your tsconfig files if you have multiple tsconfig files. Hey, heck, you could bundle all of your env files if you have multiple env files. Here's another one, pnpm debug.log. Hey, you know how I feel about you, pnpm debug.log? I don't feel about you. I think I want you in here. There we go. Perfect. Love it. So this is really neat. Explore.experimental file nesting patterns. Thank you so much to @47fx Francois. Please, again, don't butcher me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. He is French, so I hope I'm getting that correct. I think I'm on the right path there. Either way, give him a follow. I'll link to his Twitter. I saw some more VS Code tips in his Twitter. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you're interested in Svelte, if you're interested in web development, if you're interested in all sorts of stuff, give us a follow, give us a share, help us out. We also have a pro subscription on leveluptutorials.com that you can sign up for, and you get a new premium tutorial course every single month. Gotta love that, okay? So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.